All right, we're back, and as I promised you, I have two guests with me that I think that you're going to be impressed with. We got the founder of Infinite Scholar, that's Thomas Ousley. Tom, how you doing?
Thank you very much.
Steve, and we got Steve.
Thank you, Jerry.
Who is the executive that runs everything on the outside. Steve, we're here today because, tomorrow we have the Infinite Scholar Fair at Michelle Clark High School, and you guys are going to be there, and I think it's marvelous that you're going to be there because we haven't had you here like that. I got you on my show today, first of all, which is great, and we haven't had you here like this. So can you give us a little bit time on the Infinite Scholar and how you found it, and this is a great gentleman audience. So how you founded it, and just give us a little bit on that.
Well, all I was a school teacher, and all I wanted to do was help my students go to college. And since they didn't have any money and their parents didn't have any credit to borrow the money, I just decided who had the best interest in recruiting quality students to college, and that was the colleges themselves. And so what I did was I went out and I asked the colleges a question. If I could save you some money, would you allow me to let you do it? You're going to recruit college students anyway. What if I get some of the best college students in the same room at the same time? And with their transcript, their ACT score, letters of recommendation, resumes, essays, if I get all that in one room at one time, what would it be worth to you if we did that? And so some of them said, that'd be worth waiving the application fee. Those application fees when we started were $15 and $25. Now they're $50 and $100. Wow. And so if you waive the fee, then you save the family $250, $400 right there. Some of them said, we would be willing to admit them on the spot. We tell them they get qualified for a scholarship on the spot. And so it came down to, was it believable? Would somebody come and give away a $100,000 scholarship just like that? And they did. And matter of fact, in Florida this last January, they were giving away the $150,000 scholarships. Now, it's not a panacea. The colleges give away scholarships at their schools. And what the children want to do in many cases is just pick the school. This is the school I want to accept a scholarship to. Well, one, does that scholarship even exist? And two, why should they give it to you? And so for those students that have flexibility, for those students that can see a good opportunity, this is a wonderful program.
So when you say flexibility, you mean like, for instance, if this college, you can't get there, you want to get the education at the college that you can get it. That's what I'm hearing when you say flexibility.
Yeah, well, the students get locked up in football games and the Final Fours and the March Madness. They see these schools. Well, this is where I want to go. Well, fine. I've got a school over here that you can go to for free. Which would you rather do? And then they start telling themselves things, and they tell their parents things like, look, when I get out, I'll just pay it back. A student told me the other day the average salary for an engineer is $140,000. Well, that's fine. That's for an engineer. You don't start off as an engineer. You start off entry level. Right. And the entry level is going to be $60,000, $70,000. So if you're carrying a $200,000 student loan, think about that in terms of a house note. We're talking about $1,500 a month for the next 30 years. And so what you try and do is get them to listen. And if they'll listen, then there's a real good possibility they can go to school and not owe anybody any money.
Wow. Steve, let me ask you a question. Now, Infinite Scholar is not just here and in St. Louis. You got Infinite Scholar everywhere. I'm saying everywhere. Tell us about where some of the places that.
Yeah, well, Infinite Scholar is in 25 locations right now. We do 29 fairs in 25 different locations. We're primarily in the Midwest, Florida, and Texas. We've got like 6 fairs in Ohio. We've got the Chicago fairs. We also have fairs in Gary and Harvey here in the Chicagoland area, Detroit, St. Louis. the Indiana. We're actually doing some expansion. We'll be starting in Charlotte, North Carolina this year, and Atlanta, Georgia this year. So.
Wow. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. You're the hardest working guys I know. You know, other than myself. You're the hardest working guys that I know. And I know it takes a lot to put these affairs on and to line it up and do it. It's not just the two of you. It's you have assistants all over the place.
We probably have about 1,000 volunteers, people that want to do something. When you hear all the bad news, you want to hear some good news. Some good news is we sent some children to college. We had a mother whose daughter got a $150,000 scholarship in Florida in January. The mother became so excited, she hyperventilated and went completely to the floor. I mean, she literally passed out. And I asked her, how do you tell someone when you go to work Monday or you go to church on a Sunday that my daughter got a $150,000 scholarship? That sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
And when I initially met you, you didn't believe it.
That's true.
Matter of fact, you got up, stormed off and said, quote, you must think we crazy. Well, it takes years to build up the relationship with the colleges so that they trust you. And so when they ask people about me, if you tell me don't tell it, it doesn't get told. Because if those colleges stop having faith in me, they'll stop giving their scholarship money away. And what we want to do is send the children to college. We want them to be able to go to school, graduate from college, go on and get a master's degree, go on and get a PhD, and get scholarships along the way, where your initial scholarship can catapult you to your master's degree, which can catapult you to your PhD. And along the way, you're not picking up any students' loans. You just have to be flexible. If you don't go to school XYZ, you go to school 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. But we live in a time now where if you look on the internet, things just are not happening. I didn't get to my school, and so I write a letter to the school and tell them I'm coming anyway. You know, somebody was on there the other day saying they had flunked a class twice and it was the school's fault. It was too much pressure. You know, there are a lot of them on there. I've got the college of my choice, but can I afford it? Well, if you can't afford it, then you need to do something else.
Let me ask you a question. You had, and I was talking to you recently. One of the students that came through Infinite Scholar has gone on to become, I call it great, because I got a letter. You got a letter from this young lady, I believe, talking about some of the things that she do right now. And she, I think she has a doctorate, and she's doing great right now.
Yeah, she sent me a letter. She ran into somebody that told them about the program, and she said, I understand why you were so tough on us, but you just wanted us to be a success. Now she's a millionaire. Right. Matter of fact, she said, anything you need me to do, we'll do it. And my sister's got a PhD and has written a book. And we used to go up, down, and sideways. I had one on the phone with me yesterday. And he was going, if it wasn't for you, my family wouldn't be living like the way they are. And I said, you did it, but you had to listen.
Yeah.
And so many people don't listen. And there's a reason why the colleges spend $200,000 on those websites. There's a reason why the basketball coach gets $2 million and the president of the university gets $500,000. We're trying to lure the students in.
Steve, you might not know it, but you sit next to a celebrity.
I am.
This guy's going to be honored by the NAACP Music Awards. Tom Ousley. And I think it's just fantastic. It's November 7th, am I correct? Is that the right date?
November 7th.
November 7th in California, Hollywood. So you sit next to a celebrity.
Very much, yes.
So how do you go about dealing with a guy like that, man, when he gets so big? Is it okay? Is he?
He's very, very humble. It's all about the students and staying focused on the students and encouraging the students and working with them. I don't know, a lot of people don't know that Thomas has been doing a program in the Ferguson-Florissant School District in St. Louis, mentoring students at all 3 of the middle schools and all 3 of the high schools. Just kind of wrapped that up here last week. So, he's directly involved with the students.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get, because we are kind of running short of time, but I'm going to get back, because I want to interview both of you again. And Tom, I want to talk about that Promise program, because I think that is super. People need to know. It's so funny, all the work that you do, and you're all over the country. We because we do it here in Chicago as a result of you. And all the scholarships and stuff that we do for these kids, it don't get broadcast like, some of the other stuff that's going on. You get some conglomerate comes out and says, we're giving 2 scholarships out, and it's all over the television. And we're giving out like hundreds, and but you don't see and hear about it. But to us, the main thing is these kids are getting it. And people know about us now. And I think it's a wonderful thing. Tom, I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. I know you're a very modest guy. You don't like to get the accolades, but we're going to lay them on you anyway. And Steve, I think you're doing a great job. Because anytime I call, and this is for the audience, anytime I call St. Louis, and hey, Steve, we need some flyers, and we need some information, and we need get it right away. So I think Infinite Scholar is probably one of the top, if not the best, scholarship programs in the United States. So gentlemen, I tell you what, you're doing an awesome job. You're doing an awesome job. We want to have you back on here so we can, I want you to talk about that Promise program, because people, believe me, that is one of the best things since sliced bread.
Yes, it is.
Best thing since sliced bread. Now don't forget, tomorrow, Michelle Clark, 5101 West Harrison at 10 o'clock from 10 to 2. We're going to be trying to stuff as many scholarships in kids' pockets as we possibly can. We're going to have these 2 distinguished gentlemen there tomorrow, along with some other people that you might know. And we want to thank Karen Lewis, president of Chicago Teachers Union. We want to thank all of our sponsors and all the people that have helped us. And the Teachers Union actually really pushes to get these kids out there. And we got sponsors that reach out to us and want you guys to continue to sponsor us because we need it. We need to, we want to expand. We're finding we got a lot of kids because when I talked to Tom and I asked him, I said, well, how much money do you have? His response was, how many kids do you have? And he wasn't kidding. Tom, I really appreciate you coming on. Came all the way from St. Louis, Steve.
Thank you, Jerry.
And we're going to look to see you all tomorrow. We're going to have a grand time at Michelle Clark. And that's 5101 West Harrison at 10 o'clock from 10 to 2. And we want to see you again on Talk Labor with Jerry Williams next week. And we're going to talk about the Infinite Scholar program that's going to be coming up in September. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
It's okay. Yeah, get carried away, man.
Yeah. You clear?
Yes, sir.
Talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.